That familiar feel is in the air. It's my favorite time of year. Pumpkins, mums, and festivals will soon be drawing near. Hints of clove and cinnamon spice, apples and candy corn. Ghoulish costumes hang in wait for creatures to be born. Russet maize and ochre leaves, symphonic shades of fall, lay down to rest on barren land and beckon winter's call. Hi everybody, I'm home, so come on in. That little poem I wrote like in 2009, and it was part of a collection of little stories and Halloween stories I wrote for my boys. And I was getting my Halloween and fall decorations out and realized I had so many Halloween ones that I went ahead and put them up because it's towards the end of September and it's not too far away, and I like to look at everything for a while, so I got it all out. I found this little pumpkin at the Dollar Tree, and he had like little bats and things hanging beneath him, spiders, and I didn't like that part, so I took it off, and I think he's really cute. I've had this Halloween sign for a long time. And this little guy, he's a little resin character with a silly little smile, and he just sits wherever you put him. I've had him forever, like probably 20 years. I've been going around in my garden trying to decide if it's time to dehead the flowers and dig up some of the things from summer, but I feel I have a connection to them. I feel sorry for them. It's like they're saying, hey, I provided all this beauty all year and now you're going to tear my head off. So I decided to leave them. It's still warm and they're still pretty, so they're going to stay for a while. This is our burn pile, and we haven't burned because we've had a lot of dry weather, but look at all the flowers that are in my burn pile. I have morning glories, 3 different colors of morning glories. I have blue weeds, I have white daisies, and I just can't burn them. I'm going to wait. It's just a pile of flowers right now, so I'm going to leave them for a while, and then I'll burn it this fall when everything's gone. I just love them. I don't even mind the weeds. I like the big selection of weeds to pick and put in my flower arrangements. And I absolutely love the way morning glories look like they have little LED lights in them all day until about noon or 1 o'clock. They stay open and they shine their little lights, and they're just so beautiful. Then I saw where I had some volunteer pumpkins come up. I think they're the little tiny ones, and I don't know if they'll be ready by October or Halloween, but they're pretty. And this is all that's left of my cherry tomatoes, but they're still coming on. Our house was built in 74 or 72, and we have these ugly wrought iron posts, and we've had men say $600 to $1,200 to cover them or replace them. So last fall, after 12 years of living here, I covered these with wood, and they look so much better on our porch. I stained them and sealed them, and they've been doing really well. My nephew Brad, he had a gazebo that blew away in the wind about 2 weeks after he bought it, and he's been wanting another gazebo. So I went down there one day with a pile of lumber from our barn and built a simple frame and started building with old 2x4s a gazebo. It's not really a gazebo, it's just a rectangle shaped building. I put plastic down so the weeds wouldn't come up, and I started putting a floor in. Brad helped me, my sons helped, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I probably should have done the floor last, but we stained and sealed the floor before we did the walls because it was going to rain, and we started putting the 2x4s across from the 2x4s that we put up in the air, and we cemented the poles into the ground. We did do that. And then we just kept going with all the old 2x4s that we had, and we stained and sealed them 2 or 3 times. It's been up about 3 years. And that house in the background, that's my husband's house that he grew up in when he was a little boy. My nephew lives right next door to his grandma's old house. And this is my son Matthew helping, and my son Marcus. They were holding boards and helping nail everything together. We were just using what we had. We bought very little. And this is what it ended up looking like. And that big canvas in the background there, that's an opening that we left so that we could build a bar later on. He's got 1 bar in it, but we built another bar so that you could sit outside and look into the gazebo. And then there's the little ramp getting up to it, and he keeps it so cute. It's got a couple chairs, and he's got some other signs hanging around in there now, some beer signs and stuff. And he put lights in it, and we go down there in the weekends and have a fire and hot dogs around the fire. He's got a little fire pit right in front of it, and he just loves it. And we put a metal roof on it. Man's Chapel is in Rossville, Illinois, and if you've seen some of my earlier videos, you'll see that Man's Chapel means a lot to my family. My mother and her sisters were raised in Rossville, and they're all buried there, and that's just a really important place to us. Well, a few years ago, about 6 years ago, my aunt called and said her cousin Jerry, whom I hadn't seen since I was a little girl at a family reunion, was coming over with his wife from Anna, Illinois, and they wanted to see me. So we went over and met him at the church, and when we got there, they were in front of the church, and this was sitting on the steps of the church. It's a miniature Man's Chapel that my second cousin Jerry built for me. I could not believe it. He said, "Marcy Joe, there's your Man's Chapel. You can take it home with you." He built that, and I didn't even know he was a miniature artist. Isn't that weird? I do miniatures, and my uncle or my cousin did, and I didn't even know it. He had my aunt take the measurements and send them to him, and he made the chapel. And this is the inside, and the little pews are made from wood from a building that they tore down in Anna, Illinois, and he used the wood from that. And I put the pictures on the wall on the podium, and I painted this little picture that's over the back door where you walk into the church. And it's one of my most prized possessions, as you can imagine. This is what it looked like when I first brought it home. And he made the little sign, the fence, the little water pump, and I decorate it for fall and Christmas and Easter, and I absolutely love it. And then I was at a antique store not too far from Rossville one day, and I found this picture, and it's Man's Chapel, and it's a pen and ink drawing by a local artist, and it was $4, and up in the corner it had a little tag that said, "A Church." So whoever tagged it did not know it was Man's Chapel, and I love it. So I'm at thrifting the other day. I haven't done much thrifting this week, but I found these black and white toile dishes, and I absolutely love them. This one kind of looks a little bit like Christmas to me, but there's 4 different patterns. I got 4 plates, 4 salad plates, 4 cups and saucers, and a serving bowl, and they're just gorgeous. The cups and saucers actually are like little soup bowls. They're bigger than a cup. I don't think you would use them for coffee. This one has quail on it, and the other one has roosters on it. There's just 2 patterns on the cups and saucers, but they're huge. So I made dinner the other night and set the table with them, and I put vegetables inside the cup and saucers. And it made a really pretty tablescape. My husband and I had a really nice dinner. I made homemade slow roasted roast beef Manhattans with real gravy, and of course I love home cooking, and it just made a really pretty table setting, and I think I'll probably use these a lot. I love them. And then I've been working on a few projects, some embroidered samplers and an old pillow sampler type pillow that I've got to stain and grunge up yet. I haven't made it look antique yet, but I'm working on that. Then this is a little pumpkin doll I made for my friend Rosie several years ago. And she's just the sweetest thing. She's got a little dress on, and she's got a little wreath of berries and pumpkins in her hand. And Rosie sets her up on this big sifter, and she's so cute. And that's a little Halloween book that I had made. And this is a corn husk pumpkin man that I made several years ago. I set him out every year. And I have a collection of vintage trick-or-treat bags, and I was noticing this one's from 2002, so it must have been one of my boys because they're 23 years old. And then I got this at the Dollar Tree the other day. I thought it was kind of neat. I don't usually care for their things, but this one I liked. And there's my little guy again. I set him around in different places, and I bet I've had him for 20 years. I think I got him at TJ Maxx. Now this chair, I had a set of these chairs, and one of them busted, and I couldn't bear to throw it away. It was just so pretty. It wasn't an antique. So my brother-in-law helped me take the pieces from it and make a doll bed. And you can see in this next picture that the headboard part was the top of the chair. See that part right there is the top of the chair, that part. And then we took the spindles off and I kept them for another project. And then this bottom part that's on the spindles was the footboard. And we put wood across the sides and slats, and then I made the pillowcases and the mattress and, of course, the quilt. And it saved my chair. I didn't have to throw it away. Then I've been making some miniature furniture. I got a shelving unit back there and a little bench that the lid raises up. And I can't wait to put it on the wall and put some dishes on it. I did hit a yard sale this week. I got this gorgeous old crazed platter for 50 cents. And I went to another sale where this lady had tons of linens. I didn't buy them because I don't need them, but look at this curtain. It's a topper and it's got little grapes made out of beads. And this is my French country bedroom wall. I have not given up on that room. I've fixed all the holes. I'm painting. I'm doing a textured painting that's got 4 or 5 different colors in it to add a little depth, and I think it's going to be real pretty. I'll be showing you that soon. Please go on Facebook and look me up. It's called I'm Home on Facebook. And don't forget that I'm doing the thrift for you, where I want people to leave comments. No one's been leaving comments of the things they're looking for, the things they collect, what they'd like to see me buy. The first 2 items that I find that people are looking for, I'm going to buy and send them to you. So please go on there and go on my Instagram if you want, and just leave a message saying what you collect, and I'll be looking for it, and I'm going to send them out to you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe.